But that technical efficiency that we see in ChatGPT and really in every kind of step in technological evolution, we also see in blockchain. And the things that and this is where we think the real value is. The things that we see in terms of technical efficiency, I've listed here, and they're primarily the ability to be able to pay someone and receive the thing that you've paid for, right? The asset. In the blockchain world, this is a digital asset, and it might represent something purely digital or claim on something physical. The ability to pay and receive in one transaction, that's incredibly efficient, right? It requires less entities and less people than what we're able to do in all of our transactions today, as people and as businesses. So if you just think of that on its own as technical efficiency, it's incredible compared to what we're able to do today, and it's very difficult to stop technical efficiency, okay? Because of the cost reduction, the speed, and so on. There are layers on top of that we've already seen in the blockchain space, decentralized finance, which is the ability to lend and borrow money and assets through automated processes that, again, are super efficient. Provenance-based automated decisions, so we can reliably test the history of an asset and be able to have automated decisions based on that. Again, super efficient. And then with that, and the way blockchains are structured, we can also have liquidity, which can bring efficiency to finance. We just have more participants, more interaction, more funds available, more integration of systems of value, and that's composability. So all of these things bring technical efficiency. If there's nothing else you agree with about blockchain, right, the coins, the values, the crypto, and so on, just look at the pure technical efficiency. Seems to have a double click, this the slide. Okay, I'll talk to the slide in between. All right, have a quick look. I'll just flash it in front of you now. Oh, there we go. Damien Hirst. Anyone here heard of Damien Hirst? Okay, so in the peak of the NFT boom, so a couple of years ago, we were involved in a project with the UK artist, Damien Hirst. He's one of the best known artists in the UK, at least. And the project was very interesting. He produced 10,000 pieces of physical art. They were placed in a vault, and we created and minted 10,000 NFTs, each of which represented a claim on one of the items, a specific item in the vault. And the idea was that we could bring liquidity to the market for his artworks using the NFT. Right? Now, how does that bring value? So we had a primary sale, which was on a Web2 platform, where the 10,000 pieces was sold for $2,000 each. Now, that's something that he could do before NFTs. So he did a $20 million sale. That went fine. The next thing that he could do, which really was brought about through the efficiency of the technology, was the secondary market. And this was built using Web3 technology. The NFTs were much more easily and cheaply tradable, so accessible to many more people who could trade them much more quickly and efficiently than the physical artworks, and on a range of different platforms and also directly with each other. And that secondary market also enabled a part of the transaction to go back to the artist, and the value was $90 million in secondary market sales in the first 6 months, netting 5%, $4.5 million to the artist. So that 4.5 million was basically additional revenue that the artist now had through that secondary market, which was enabled through the efficiency that the technology brought. Over to Arnaud.
Thanks, Adi. So UPFIRST started as an idea, the idea of tokenizing all physical assets around us. Now, this idea was challenged by real-life limitations of holding a master database and instant authentication. The technology is not yet there to ensure that there is no decoupling of a physical versus digital identity of an asset. So we then went back to the drawing board and realized that the only thing digital about our physical world today are the contracts. So we decided to tokenize the future promise of an asset, as the digital and the physical are always coupled up until transfer of ownership happens. UPFIRST is addressing significant inefficiencies in supply chain, risks of overproduction, the environmental impact of overproduction, and the secondary market. Using UpFirst, anyone can do what Damien Hirst did. We give the tools for free and only charge a successful fee on a transaction. Now, UpFirst is a true Web 2.5 platform. So what I mean by that is our primary market is Web 2, but our secondary market is Web 3. We wanted to harness the power of blockchain technology, but make it accessible to everyone. So an example I always like to give is, when we were growing up, everyone downloaded MP3s and put them on their iPods. Today, everyone listens to Spotify. Happens to be an MP3, you don't need to know that in order to use it and enjoy it. Now, our secondary market requires blockchain for two trustless parties to be able to trade with each other, especially if neither can take credit cards. As soon as users hear the phrase, seed phrase, private key, gas fees, TX hashes, most just panic and stop. I always have my mother in mind, who is 70 and can just about download an app from the App Store. And my view is if she can use it, then anyone can. And that is why we created, within our app, a non-custodial wallet to make that transition Web 2 to Web 3 completely seamless. So using UpFirst, we have tried to address issues that are common today with Web 3 companies, such as, some examples are, we have gasless transactions. So our secondary market is built on Polygon, but our users do not require any Matic to be able to transact. Reason for this is once your users have to understand gas fees, they have to understand blockchain, and again, you lose them. Our onboarding is a one-click simple sign-up where we auto-backup iCloud seed phrases, so our users don't need to know about it. Obviously, a more sophisticated user can just go to their settings and find their seed phrase. And then thirdly, our wallet signatures. So, today for a non-crypto savvy person to see all of this, looks like gibberish, is very scary, and again, you lose users. So our signatures are very simple. Please click here to confirm. Obviously, for someone who's more crypto savvy, you can expand it and see the full information. So in essence, we give sellers, brands, retailers the option of benefiting from Web3 tools, but we give all the benefits of Web3 to our users. So as a result, we also built our own Web3 reward system, where sellers can reward their customers in exchange for engaging capital early. And in essence, all loyalty programs are basically a form of future credit notes. So an UpFirst reward simply means it's a credit note that can be used on your next purchase from the same seller. So this forces users to keep coming back, keep engaging with the brands, with the sellers, and this, in the end, creates customer loyalty. But our rewards are also tradable, which is a free but very powerful customer acquisition tool for sellers today. So our secondary market is both products, but also rewards. Now looking ahead, in most industries today, and certainly fashion, when you go from retail to wholesale, there's a 2x plus markup, which shows a clear inefficiency. Any consumer product that can be bought today has usually been multiplied by a very high number, mainly due to wrong forecasting and overproduction. But overproduction is simply an output of trying to get products as quickly as possible to customers. Ironically, this has been a self-fulfilling prophecy, because customers today add products to their wish list, waiting for it to go on sale, because about 60% plus products end up on sale today due to overproduction. So using UpFirst, end consumers can finally have the same access and potentially the same commercial terms as an intermediary. Sellers can have more accurate forecasting using forward-looking data as opposed to looking at the past to predict the future to try and improve and solve these inefficiencies. We are a green model where you only produce what you have already sold by putting demand and supply the right way around. Any product that is pre-sold on UpFirst has no risk of ending up in your stock, of being discounted, of ending up in a landfill, because demand and supply are always matched one-to-one. Now the bigger picture for us is that our technology is not only applicable to fashion, but can be used across all industries. An example of that could be plane tickets. UpFirst can sit as a non-disruptive layer on top of existing infrastructure. And an example of that could be the right to a ticket, right? So the right to a ticket can be traded as many times as you want between consumers until the point that someone is ready to commit. And at that time, the ticket can be issued via email exactly as it is today. So this can allow larger players who are today leaving money on the table to benefit from these Web3 tools such as royalties. Now, a challenge that we've had is larger corporates want everything to be done on their platform. So as a result, UpFirst is also building a white label solution to basically let anyone do what Damien Hirst did. Back to you, Adi.
Thank you, Arnaud. Right, the slide in between. Oh, by the way, a quick one on Damien Hirst. So just an anecdotal. These artworks, after a year, the physical were burnt if they weren't claimed, and if they were claimed, then the digital the token was burnt. So after 1 year, you only had one or the other, and about half were actually claimed of the physical, and the other half actually got burnt. So I'm doing my best with the slides. We've come to the end of time, so I'll just quickly go through, I guess, predictions. There's a bit more than this, but by 2050, hopefully by then the regulation will catch up, because the tech is really good and efficient and kind of does what it says on the tin. There are some areas that are being refined, like privacy and scalability, and there's a lot of good work being done. And one of them is a speaker later on, Alex from ZK Sync, here, one of the better platforms out there and more impressive ones. So the tech is almost there, but the regulation will probably need another quarter of a century. AR and scanning, so just linking the physical to the digital, which is something that we see as an enabler to really have a lot more assets available in this format, is also an area that's evolving, and things like augmented reality and the ability to scan and identify items through their molecular structures and so on also enable this. And we think by this time, and actually much earlier, the majority of our day-to-day transactions as people and as businesses will be using this type of technology. Unless by then it's superseded by a technology that just does this better. But at the moment, we think, and most computer scientists would probably agree with us, that this is the most efficient way to transact value that's available to us today.